iOS 18 has quite a few new features, and having used it now for the last couple of months, I think I've finally found how to effectively use the most important features and set things up in a way that really optimizes how I use my phone. For me, that means not only making things look good, but focusing on how and what I want to use my phone for, limiting distractions, and really just leveraging the tools in iOS to help me be more productive. Essentially, I want my phone to be helpful rather than a burden while I'm trying to get things done. With the official release of iOS 18 right around the corner, I want to share how and why I do a lot of these things for anyone who is looking to do something similar, or to just take advantage of some of the tools iOS has to offer to help use their iPhone more effectively. So if that sounds like you, or maybe you're new to the iPhone and you just want to get familiar with how things work or see some really neat things that you can do inside of iOS, stick around and let's get into it. Hey everyone, Kyle Erickson here. Like it or not, our phones are a huge part of our lives, and many of the apps within them are designed to capture our attention, which can be both good or bad. While some apps can be helpful with productivity and health, others can distract us or pull us away from things that we're trying to get done or negatively affect our mood. But there are still a lot of tools within iOS that can really help structure things to get away from that. How that's going to be most effective or what that's going to look like is going to be different for everyone, and like I've said in similar videos, my goal here today isn't to say that one thing is more important than the other, or that you absolutely need to do anything particular here, but rather just take some ideas or points that you find useful and just leave the rest. With that said, I want to kick things off with some basic visual updates with iOS 18. The first thing that I want to do on my phone is start customizing the look of everything, because I not only want something that I enjoy looking at, but a lot of what I'm going to do here is going to tie into some other more functional stuff as well. Starting on the lock screen, I can hold down on the screen to customize anything here that I want. I can change the wallpaper if I want, and there are new wallpapers for iOS 18 that don't look too bad, but I'm going to use one that I've made. I'm also going to adjust the clock text by tapping on it to adjust the font and weight, and I'm going to add a couple of widgets by hitting on the widgets button. I'm going to select the weather widget and my fitness rings and email because those are the things that I prefer to look at a glance. Then back on the lock screen, something new this year that we can do is customize the lock screen actions in the bottom corners. I actually prefer to keep this the way it is because I do access those two features the most from here, and it's just what I'm used to at this point. But you can change this to a variety of accessibility features or some other basic functionality. Say in the event that maybe you're traveling somewhere and you prefer to change the flashlight to a live translation button or something, it's just good to know that you're able to do that. With that out of the way, on your home screen, you're probably going to have a bunch of icons that you've either set up yourself or the default ones laid out by Apple, and I prefer these to be laid out very intentionally. So personally, I like to structure each use case, or focus mode as Apple calls them, into different screens, which in my case is going to be my default layout, a work layout for when I'm busy or I don't want to be bothered, a fitness layout, and one for when I actually want to be productive on the phone itself. For all those different views, I'll go through all my apps and figure out the ones that I need for each layout. I like using an app called Freeform that you can use for free on iOS, iPadOS, or macOS that is likely already on your device, but you can just write this in a notebook if you want. And if you want more insight into what apps you use most frequently, you can go into Settings and under Screen Time, tap See All App and Website Activity. Over time, this will not only help you find what apps are most useful for you, but it can help show patterns or behaviors that you might want to change, like going on social apps too much, or just getting too much screen time in general. Once I've got my app list planned out with whatever tool that I'm going to use, I'm going to go back to my home screen and remove whatever stock icons I have there by just holding down on the screen away from the icons to enter jiggle mode. And I'll just remove anything that I don't want by hitting the minus on the icons and clicking Remove App from home screen for each. Then I'll start by adding the apps that I planned out earlier for the default view until they're all on the screen. And you'll notice an empty page opens up each time an icon is added to a page, so I can just add apps from the library for all my other screens here as well. This is also a bit different with iOS 18, as I can actually move the icons anywhere that I want to on the screen. So in this case, I'm just gonna drag them down either one at a time or by holding down on one and tapping on some others to group them, and then just sliding them down towards the bottom so they're easier to touch with one-handed use. I also don't really like how some of the icons are light and some are dark, so while I'm still in jiggle mode, I'm gonna hit the edit button in the upper left-hand corner and go to customize, and you'll see you get this menu at the bottom where I can select light, dark, or tinted icons. The tinted icons look decent depending on what apps you have on the screen, but I'm just gonna use dark for mine, and I also don't really like having the text under mine either, so you'll see that when you switch to large icons, it removes the app names. So I think that just looks a little bit better in my case, so I'm gonna do that as well. Outside of icons, I'm gonna add some widgets for these screens as well, and for fitness, I'm again gonna hit that edit button and go to add widget, go to fitness, and add the large activity widget. I'll do the same kind of thing for productivity where I'll add a couple of widgets for my calendar and reminders, and I'm gonna add some widgets to my default screen as well. Again, I'm gonna put my fitness rings because I like looking at those throughout the day. I'll add the weather, and I'm gonna throw a battery life widget in there that shows me the battery level of all my different Apple accessories because I'm terrible at keeping track of that. I've also just moved one random icon to a screen for my deep work mode because that doesn't have any, which I'll explain soon as well. But with that done, I'm now gonna go into my settings app and go into focus, and you'll see that Apple gives us a few of these by default that we can customize, and we can create our own. I'm gonna start off by adding my fitness focus mode by hitting the plus icon, and you'll see there's already a fitness mode on here that we can use. So I'll select that one and tap Customize Focus. Within here, by default, Apple has set a schedule so that when you start a workout, this focus mode will automatically start, and we'll get into schedules more in a second, but right above that, you can see that you can set a custom page for the focus mode and even a lock screen and a watch face if you want. We're just gonna do the home screen today, so I'm gonna tap choose on that, and then I'll select the screen I made for my fitness screen, and that's all I'm gonna do in this focus mode. I'm gonna do the same thing with my other focus modes where I'll add a new mode, but from now on, I'm gonna enter a custom focus mode where I'll name this one productivity, select a color for it and an icon, and hit next. Then I'll again hit customize focus where I'll choose a screen, this one being the one that I made for productivity. Now, I do just want to mention some of the other options that I have here. While I'm in a productivity focus mode, I probably don't want to see notifications popping up on my phone because they are a distraction, but I do still want notifications to come through, say if they're from my wife or from someone that I work with, and I can filter people through by tapping on the Choose People button. Depending on what you have selected here, this is going to either block all notifications except for the ones that you have specified, or the reverse, where you're gonna allow everything and just silence the people or apps that you select. I'll just add my wife here to make sure that I get her notifications. Now, say if I wanted this mode to kick on at a certain time of day automatically, or when I get to a specific location, maybe if I was driving to work every day or something, I can specify that in the set schedule area where I can tap add schedule and specify a time of day this automatically kicks on, or specify a location, which is pretty neat. And you can even have it activate if you open up an app, kind of similar to our fitness mode. I'm not gonna do that here, so I'm just gonna back out of that, and I'm gonna create a deep work mode doing the exact same thing where I'll name it, give it an icon and a color, and when I'm done with that, I'm just gonna update the schedule on the Do Not Disturb mode to turn on every day between 9 AM through 7 AM so that my phone is silenced every night. With those all set up, I can now go back to my home screen, and you'll see if I swipe down from the upper right-hand corner, it'll open up Control Center, which has been redesigned in iOS 18. Similar to the home screen, I can now hold down and move things around or add different controls, which we're gonna do, but for right now, I just want to pop in here and change my focus mode. When I change modes, the screen will switch for each, and these all look great, but the deep work mode is a little bit different because I don't want anything on the screen, so I'm just going to remove that one app that I've placed there, and all I'll have is the dock, which I'm fine with. And with that, we've got all our app screens set up, but there's still one more issue. You'll see that without a focus mode on in the default layout, we've got all these screens that we've made for each mode, and I don't want any of these to show, and that's a super easy fix. If I hold down on the screen to enter jiggle mode, I can then tap the little paging indicator towards the bottom of the screen, and I can uncheck those app pages to hide them. Then when I tap done, you'll see that they no longer show, and this to me just allows me to be a lot more intentional about what exactly I'm using my phone for, without getting sidetracked during the day. I also like to make sure that I don't have any social media apps on my home screen. For me, those are really habit forming, and I prefer to consume those in small doses. I also turn off notifications for those apps by either not allowing them when I initially install and open the apps, or by going into settings and in the apps section, I'll tap on the apps that I want to silence and I'll turn them off from within the notifications area. There's one other thing that I'm going to do with the way that some of my apps work and are displayed, which is new in iOS 18, where I'm going to go into any app with sensitive personal information like finance or insurance apps and hold down on the icon and select Require Face ID. With that enabled, every time that I try and open that app, I'll have to unlock it with my face before it'll show anything, which just gives you an extra level of security. And we can even go a step further by selecting the option just below Require Face ID to hide that app as well, which will just stash it away in a hidden folder in your app library. You'll see that anything in that hidden folder won't show up in my app list, and again, I'll have to unlock that folder with Face ID, which I think is quite useful. Something else that I find really helpful pertaining to my own finances that really isn't anything that you need to turn on, but it's just new in iOS 18, is that if I head to my Photos app, this has all been redesigned to show the photo library on the top, and on the bottom you'll see all these grouped sections or albums underneath. Visually that's a nice change, but the thing that I love about this is if you scroll down to the utility section, Apple has conveniently grouped all my receipts into an album, so I no longer need to dig through all my photos to find them, which is a huge time saver. All those features and settings are going to help streamline things on your phone, and at least for me, they help me manage my time a little bit more effectively, but there are some things within specific apps that also help me organize my day and structure my time. The Calendar app in iOS 18 has a new UI with compact, stacked, and detail level views, which is much nicer to work with. And if you hit the plus icon in here, you can now add reminders directly within the calendar without having to go into the Reminders app, which is a super handy update. Also, one thing my wife and I do is maintain a shared calendar between the two of us. I just like this because we can share important dates or events with each other, which I'll most likely forget if they're not in here. Provided your family is on Apple devices, this is pretty easy to set up. All you're gonna do is hit the calendar button at the bottom, go to Add Calendar, and you can select Add Calendar or Add Family Calendar if you've already got family members set up within your iCloud account. If you select Family Calendar, people will automatically show up there that are set as family members, but you can also tap Add Person to add an email address of anyone where they'll then be able to accept your invite through that email and share the calendar with you. If for whatever reason you accept an invite but the calendar isn't showing up, you'll just want to make sure that in Settings under your name and in iCloud, if you go into Saved to iCloud, just make sure that iCloud Calendar is turned on. That definitely helps with remembering dates, but I can sometimes be really bad with remembering to message people at certain times or being aware of what time zone friends or family are in. About 5 years ago, I moved 5,000 kilometers away from home, and I have family and friends all over the world at this point. And this next feature is really helpful in that regard. If I head into my Messages app, if I want to send a message to someone, but maybe I know it's a bit too early or too late for them, in iOS 18, I can hit the plus button beside my message and tap Send Later, where I can then schedule a message to be sent at a reasonable time for that person, and that way I won't leave it or forget about it. The next thing that I want to talk about is less about managing my time and more about my actual phone with battery optimization. And one thing that I've done for the last couple of years when I get a new device is head into Settings, and under Battery, I'll go into charging, and I'm gonna bring my charge limit down to 80%. This does restrict my battery life a lot more, but because I always have chargers kicking around, I generally don't worry about running out of charge, and this does extend your battery life over a large time span. Think in terms of years versus days or months, but that can be helpful if you plan on using your phone for a long time, or it can make it a little bit easier to sell. That being said, if I am running low on battery, one thing that I like to do is set up a custom shortcut to really restrict my power consumption, more so than just the standard low power mode, and to do that, I've set up my own custom shortcut. Shortcuts are super powerful and you can do a ton with these, but I'm not going to go through all of this and how I've set it up, but I will have a link in the description if you'd like to use this same shortcut or check it out. But essentially what this does is toggle on low power mode, airplane mode, along with a couple of other things, and turn down my screen brightness to conserve battery life. The great part about iOS 18 is I can easily make a control for this shortcut by going back into Control Center by, again, swiping down from the upper right of the home screen, holding down on the Control Center and hitting Add a Control. Inside here, you can scroll until you see Shortcut, you can select that and click Choose, and I can select my shortcut, and I can just tap that anytime that I want to toggle that on or off. I should also mention that the updates to the Control Center not only allow me to move everything around in here, but you now have pagination, so you can group different controls to different pages and resize them, and the controls will be able to be added to by third-party app developers, so it's definitely something to take note of. Everything here I use pretty much every day and I find super useful, but there are some important things that I want to just briefly mention that might help someone out. If you're someone who gets carsick when you're on your phone, iOS 18 actually has a feature to help reduce motion sickness, and you can turn that on by going into Settings, and under Accessibility and Motion, you can toggle on Show Vehicle Motion Cues. Also, if you're in Safari web browsing and you find something super distracting on a web page, you can click the reader icon in the address bar and click Hide Distracting Items, which will allow you to remove or hide elements from within a page. If you want to use the reader mode instead to read an article that's more distraction-free, you'll now have some more options within here to change the background color and the text style as well. Now, there are plenty of features in iOS 18 that I didn't touch on, and a lot of what I did go over you can do without it, but I just wanted to mention the things that have helped me the most living within iOS 18 and hopefully help spark some ideas with your own phone. But please, if there's anything that you want to mention that I didn't go over, please let me know in the comments down below. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video or you found it useful. If you did, feel free to hit that like button. If you want to see more tech-related content or help me create an app that switches your app icons to mismatched images, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next upload.